Hi, I'm immigration attorney John Khosravi. Thank you for joining us today. It's Wednesday, February, it's almost near the end of February, February 23rd, 2002. We're here on our regular 6 p.m. Pacific time where we talk about U.S. immigration, taking your live questions and about general educational kind of stuff, not case specific. You got to talk to a lawyer in private about that kind of stuff. But we're going to go over general questions you have and updates in the immigration system because there's so much stuff going on. We're live on TikTok, on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on YouTube, various pages. If you haven't already, like and subscribe, get some good information. And if you're interested in doing a marriage kind of case or fiance case, the best thing to start with is to download the Ultimate Marriage Green Card Guide. It's a free ebook I wrote that's very thorough. It really breaks everything down. Go to marriageimmigrationlaw.com to download that. It's marriageimmigrationlaw.com. And if you like to get a free consultation, we give away raffles for those watching live. So what you got to do is like and subscribe wherever you're watching this, and write consultation in the comment. And my wonderful assistant Kayla will announce a person in 10 minutes, another person in 20 minutes, and a third one in 30 minutes to give away 3 15-minute video consultations so we could briefly chat about your case in private to see what's going on. So with that, let's get it all started. All right, we start with Sandeep says, "How are you, sir? I'm doing good, doing good. It's been very windy here in Los Angeles, which makes it a little bit of a mess with the allergies and just all that kind of stuff. But overall, thank Lord, we're doing good. Hope you're doing good as well. My team is doing a lot of good work, so I'm really happy. And we're expanding a lot. Some of you may know, we have a team in attorney in the Virginia and the East Coast area. We're expanding internationally. You're going to see a lot of big things happening with JQK Law Firm in the coming months, in the coming year. So I'm really looking forward to that. On the other side with immigration, well, immigration is immigration. It's a frustrating endeavor at times because of how long things are taking to get done, and the government's not really communicating. So, for example, the 20 members of Congress wrote a complaint to USCIS saying, we have these cases that we need to expedite, so we're contacting you to see what's going on. And the USCIS agency is not responding. And they're like, give us 2 months. He's like, well, it's an expedite thing. You can't wait 2 months. If a congressional representative asks you something, you got to answer them. So it's a weird situation that's going on, where even they can't get any updates. So it's a weird thing. And we have a question with Stephen Chiney, I-751 updates. I-751 is removal of conditions. This is when you're married, your marriage is new, you got to prove it's still a real marriage, all that kind of stuff. Not any particular updates, the open-ended question like that, but your case might have some unique situation to it. We have a question from Mansoor. He asked, my parents' case were documentarily completed. Now they are going for interview. Well, thank God, good, congratulations. Which embassy are they going to interview for, and how long ago were they documentarily qualified? I'll help a lot of other people watching. Now he follows up, will they check the income again? Yes, you are supposed to bring any updated income documents. So let me back it up. So in this case, it was a U.S. citizen applying for their parent, and then eventually the parents overseas, they have to schedule an interview time with the embassy. But before that, they have to become documentarily qualified. This means that the National Visa Center has to get all their records together and prove it's good, and then they'll give it to the embassy to schedule a time. Now, it seems like they're documentarily qualified, which means their paperwork is good, and they're going to get an interview with the embassy. Part of that paperwork that they submitted was an affidavit of support to show that their U.S. citizen son or a joint sponsor could financially support the parents when they come to the United States. So they won't have to use government services. And right now, because of delays between the time that your case is documentarily qualified to do initial review of the paperwork and the time you have the embassy appointment, could be 6 months, could be a year, could be a year and a half. A lot of time goes by. So the embassy will want to see updated proof that you are still making money and have the income to be able to support your family there. So if you're, for example, working, they want updated pay stubs. Best thing to do is get updated tax returns, and not just regular tax returns. You got to get the IRS income tax transcripts. So you go to irs.gov, and there's an option for getting tax transcripts. Get the most recent one. If you just recently filed your taxes and they're not up there, have a copy of your taxes along with W-2s, 1099s, pay stubs. You want to have all the updated information needed so they don't hassle you about finances if you finally got an interview. You don't want to go there, have to go back and all this kind of stuff. It's a really messy situation dealing with the embassies. The last thing you want to do is have insufficient documents. So it's a really important question you asked about the income requirements. You have to satisfy them, but have continued evidence, because you have to satisfy it until your parents get their green card. They're in the United States. So if you made money at first and they accepted it, and at the interview you're not making enough money anymore, or you don't have enough assets or whatever, then it could be a big problem. A LinkedIn user asks, I need help on employer misrepresentations on prevailing wage determination. I mean, that's not something we talk about here, but connect with an attorney in private. There's not much you could do if you're the employee because that's their document. But it is something you got to talk about in private. It's a serious matter if there's misrepresentation, anything with immigration. Sadas, how long it takes, how long what takes, and I don't, you're not specific enough. Plus, who knows how long things will take at the end of the day. Hussein asks, a U.S. citizen filed for his mother outside the United States and have a little brother with his mother, and they made a mistake for his brother age. Will that be a problem when my mom gets her green card and wants to file for him? Well, what do you mean they made a mistake? It typically doesn't matter because the brother won't be in that petition. But if it's like a mistake that's intended to defraud or something like that, it could be a problem. If it's a simple error, just put a number down wrong, it doesn't matter. So it depends on what the mistake is. But once the mother gets citizenship, they need to turn around and apply for that little brother as soon as possible to get him in faster as well, because there's years of delays right now for that kind of case. Simone asks, does receiving financial aid in college affect marriage green card if we're going to have a sponsor? My fiance and I are both college students right now and looking to get married soon. So if a U.S. petitioner is getting a green card for their spouse, getting college aid and all that stuff doesn't matter. That's not even looked at. They want to see if you're making active income right now, and if not, then or you have a lot of assets. That may be a way to go, or you get a joint sponsor. Now, if the foreign spouse got financial aid in an application, they listed their U.S. citizen, that could be a different major problem called false claim of citizenship. But if you're talking the U.S. citizen petitioner, the U.S. person who's petitioning, it doesn't matter if they got college aid or not. That doesn't even come up in the current version of the application. Mohammed asks, hello, sir. Does the marriage-based naturalization go a little faster than the actual 5-year application? Yes, if you have a green card and you've been married and living with a U.S. citizen for 3 years, you could file for citizenship after 3 years instead of waiting the full 5 years that the typical person has to do. They have a special, faster way to get citizenship, but you have to satisfy a bunch of other requirements. So that those 3 years, you have to spend a month and a half of that physically in the United States. You have to satisfy the continuous residency requirement, living in the U.S. consistently, not having large gaps, 6 months or more, for example, outside the United States. But yeah, the cool thing is you could do it probably 2 years. You could file it 2 years sooner if you satisfy all the other requirements. Hassan says, thank you. God bless you. God bless you. Thank you so much. Prestige asks, can a VAWA get you a waiver for inadmissibility of 2-year home residency requirement, J1? I'm not sure. I haven't seen a VAWA case that needed a waiver of J1. I'd have to look into that. I'm not sure. VAWA is a very powerful type of category because it does waive a lot of things, but I'm not sure about the J1 requirement. I just haven't had that scenario. For those tuning in, not sure what that means. VAWA is the Violence Against Women's Act. It doesn't just apply to women; it can be men too. But it's if you're in an abusive relationship with a U.S. person, then you could potentially get a green card based on that. And the 2-year residency requirement is if you came on a J1 culture exchange visa, sometimes they want you to take the culture that you learned and education that you had in the United States, go back to your home country, share that information for 2 years, then come back here before you'll be able to get a green card. So in this case, if they're subject to the J1 2-year home residency requirement, they usually have to go back home for 2 years, then be able to come back and get the green card. But they have VAWA, they're applying for a green card based on this abuse. Is there exception? I don't know. I'd have to look into that. I just haven't had the scenario pop up. Probably is. But yeah, it's an interesting fact about him. Thank you for bringing the question up. Simon says, thank you so much. You're welcome, Simon. God bless. I wish you the best in your case. Quampri asks, oh, by the way, Simon, download the Ultimate Marriage Green Card Guide if you're doing a marriage case. Go to marriageimmigrationlaw.com. It'll help you with a lot of information there. Kamarpi asks, why does citizenship interview scheduled not at the same time if it's the same state with same zip code? Why is citizenship interview scheduled not at the same time? I'm not sure what you're talking about, Kamarpi. Monterey Films asks, Monterey Films, you've been on this show before. Thanks for coming again. It's been more than 6 months since we applied for adjustment with a marriage to a U.S. citizen. Work permit status shows being actively reviewed. Are these delays normal? Biometrics done 4 months ago. Yeah, these aren't considered delays. They're just considered normal processing times. It could go sometimes another 6 months, another year even. Bina says, thank you. You're welcome. Patience asks, can they deport someone with an expired passport? Patience, there's just not enough context for what you're asking. If you're a foreign person visiting the United States and you have an expired passport, that is potentially a visa violation that could potentially get you out of the United States. But there's just so much more context that we have to look into for that one, that I won't be able to answer your question like that. I do want to list the raffle winner of Mansour Hakomi. You're watching the show. Thank you for posting your question, your request for having a consultation. You're a winner. What I want you to do is take a screenshot of wherever you're watching this and email it to me at info@jqqlaw.com. I want the screenshot so I can see your username there so I know it's you and not someone else. But info@jqqlaw.com for those just tuning in. If you're watching a live show, just send me, I'm sorry, not send me, like and subscribe to whatever channel you're watching and write consultation in the whatever you can write your questions in. And my wonderful assistant Kayla will name somebody in 10 minutes and then 20 minutes to have free video consultations. And if you're interested in a marriage green card case, a fiance visa, download the Ultimate Marriage Green Card Guide at marriageimmigrationlaw.com. That's where you can get a lot of detailed information at no cost that breaks down the whole process. So you have a good overview before you talk with an attorney. Jorge asks, I got a question. My mom was never married to this man, but she was with him for 10 years and he's a U.S. citizen. Can she apply for VAWA? First of all, I don't handle VAWA cases, so I'm not an expert on the details of it, but you probably have to be married. Now, if there was some sort of abuse, potentially, you could call the police or file a police report and based on that, maybe get a U visa. So that's something to look into. But typically for VAWA, it has to be marriage, but again, I'm not an expert on VAWA. I don't handle these cases, so you should talk with an attorney that does in private to see what exceptions do exist. Marwan says, I got my green card and a new job this January. Thank you for your channel. You're welcome, Marwan. You're welcome. What kind of case was it? And how did the channel help? I'm so happy to help you out, though. God bless. Chapter says, my priority date is May 1st, 2020. I got an RFE in August. USCIS received it in September. I did my biometrics appointment in May 2021. I got my work permit on May 2021. Nothing since then. Is this normal? Yeah, just there's no normal or abnormal in this. It's just a lot of time waiting. Priority date 2020. I'm not sure what country you're from, so I have to analyze that too. There's just so much more context that I need. That you put a lot of information there, but it's still not enough. But it just takes time. So that's about it. K4 says, I live in Portland and married 8 months ago. I have my fingerprint 2 months ago. When can I get a green card? Whenever they want to give it to you. So that's about it. So with regards to these timeline questions, we get them a lot constantly. It's an important question. I want to know how long it takes. But there's a million and one factors that go into it. And the most important one just being luck. And so there's no way to account for luck. And if you get off, just be quick. If your case is smoother than other people, a million and one kind of things. So you can't really answer how long things are going to take. Chapdem says he had his case. I think he had his case in Jamaica. Well, that's good, wonderful stuff. We have a lot of Jamaican people who watch the show. I regularly have the free consults with Jamaican people, so it's nice, go Jamaica. Let's see. Maharaj asks, hey, I'm VAWA. I get an update saying we received your correspondence on 5360 petition for. You don't have to say your names and stuff, but if you got, I don't know what the next step will be. I don't know your case. If you got a receipt, you may have to do biometrics. They may do an RFE. So just different kind of things going on. So yeah, with regards to timelines, a lot of it is out of our control, especially if you're going to be doing consular processing, which is if you're going to be doing your case outside the United States with the embassies because of the way they're acting. If you're in the U.S. States, it's different. So I have in Los Angeles where I do bulk my, like 50% of my cases are in Los Angeles. We have cases, marriage adjustment green card cases done in 2 months. It's crazy, 2 months. As soon as we file it, they get an appointment. At first, I was scared. I'm like, are they is the police going to be waiting for them? Why are they calling them in so soon? But we started doing this normal. And then I have cases in San Francisco that's taken a year and a half. I have New York cases taking a year. I had a case in St. Louis. They were actually living in Illinois, but in St. Louis, that got done in 4 months. So, every office is different. And within the office, even though I have cases in Los Angeles that are getting done in 2 or 3 months, I have other cases that are taking a year. So it's not even consistent in that. So it's these questions about how long things will take, who knows? Marwan says it was a marriage-based case in Orange County, California. Your ebook really helped. Your continuous share of knowledge too. Wow, wonderful, Marwan. Thank you so much. If you had the time, I would appreciate just put in JQK Law into Google and my firm will pop up. Put a 5-star review. You don't have to write anything. Just a 5-star really helps me out a lot. But I'm really happy that it worked out. Hopefully, your life goes really smooth here in California. If it's a marriage case, keep an eye out on the removal of conditions from I-751. This is if your marriage was new. Once you get the green card, you have to file another application 2 years later to show your marriage is real. And for that, you have to start from now. As soon as you got your green card, keep accumulating evidence of your relationship. So if you go on trips, keep those. If you have good photos, keep those. If you go to Disneyland together, keep those in Orange County, because Disneyland has your name on the ticket, so you show you went to Disneyland together. Every little, big or small thing they can do, have driver's licenses with your same address on both of them. Have your mail come to the address at your home. Have some kids. That's the best thing to do. And anything you can do just to prep it to be prepared for the I-751 stage. But congrats on finishing up, and I appreciate all the kind words. Manraj says, after prima facie determining what will happen in VAWA, Manraj, as I said, Raj just said, I don't handle VAWA cases, but it's just a matter of, the case has to go forward until they approve it. And sometimes it takes a while. Her colleagues say it takes years sometimes for VAWA. Nicola Bailey says, thank you so much for our chat today. I'll definitely recommend your channel. Thank you, Nicola. It was a much appreciated comment on the show, and I'll be following up with you soon, too, with some additional information. Lemon Secure says, good evening, sir. I-751 doesn't require the medical check, vaccination, etc. Nope. That's only for adjustment or consular processing. Do you think it will remain this way as always, or is there a chance it will implement to encourage the vaccination? No. So the rules are this: if you're going to get permanent residency in the United States, one of the requirements is that you have to have certain type of vaccines and a medical checkup for it. But once you are a green card holder, you're a U.S. resident. If they were going to make a requirement for green card holders to do this kind of stuff, they would have the same requirement for citizens to do it. So once you're a green card holder, they're not after your medical stuff. The statute for immigration, the rules aren't written for a green card holder to check and make sure you're healthy. At this point, it's just to make sure you're not doing some sort of fraud and your marriage is real. You're not engaged in criminal activity or something like that. But you're done with that. Hussein follows up, can you apply VAWA 2 times and the first was denied and marry second time? It's still bad. Yeah, there's no minimum. I mean, it looks negative potentially, but there's no, if your first VAWA didn't work, as long as there's no like marriage fraud case against you or something like that, like one maybe. But these are general questions. We really have to see what exactly happened in your case. So it's hard to answer these kind of things. Monterey Film says, it's been a year since we got married. EAD and green card are still under review. Will I get a conditional green card or permanent? Will I still have to apply for removal conditions after 1 year from now? Yeah, so you have to see if you get a 10-year green card or a 2-year green card if you get a green card based on marriage. On the day the green card is approved, or the start date on your green card, you'll see as the admission date on there. If that is within 2 years after the date of your marriage, you'll get a 2-year green card. If it's outside of 2 years, then you'll get a 10-year green card. So in your case, you only been married for a year. The green card hasn't been approved yet. The green card has to be approved a year after now for it to be a 10-year green card. Most likely, it's not going to take that long. So most likely, you're going to get a 2-year green card, and so you have to be prepared to file for I-751 when the time comes. Zainab asks, how many days does it take for USCIS to receive our case? I mean, that depends on the post office that you use. So, the parole case. Again, the probably trying to ask something else, but how many days does it take for USCIS to get your case? Well, you got to send it to them, and then whenever they get it, they get it. It's really the post office, and as soon as they get it, they got it. Ashkali asks, hey, I got my interview, and my daughter was added, but I have to send updated financial documents. That's correct. So definitely have those prepared to show that the income levels are continuing. One of our regulars, 29 Super C. Good night, Attorney Khosravi. Good night to you too. Is there delays in granting green cards that you know of after in the United States? A friend of mine told me that it's taking 3 to 4 months after landing to get your EB visa. So what happened in this case is a person gets their green card through employment in particular, but any kind of green card you get where you have to do an embassy interview and then enter the United States. And once you enter, after you pay the fee, they ship you a green card. In general, sometimes historically it was supposed to come like 2 weeks after entry, but it's not uncommon for it to take 3 or 4 months or even 5, 8, 10 months for them to send the green card after you enter the United States once you get done with consular processing. It sucks. It's really horrible. To help you with that, they have said that the visa stamp that you have in your passport will act like a green card for a period of 1 year to hold you over. But yeah, if it takes months and months, sometimes it does. You just got to make sure to pay the fee. So it not coming is not because you didn't pay the fee, but there's no reliability of when that's going to come, how long it takes to get the Social Security number. All of it is a mess. So it's not that reliable. Zainab follows up, I submitted online, but I didn't receive any case number. So if you submit online, they should have issued you a receipt. You'll get in the mail, but it'll be available online as well. The receipt or case number is written on the top left of that notice. Marwan says, thank you so much, sir. I missed what you requested for me to do on Google. Could you repeat or type in chat? Sure, Marwan. Just put in JQK Law into Google, my firm's going to come up. There's a part where you put a review on it. Maybe appreciate if you just put 5 stars. That always helps my business out, so that's much appreciated. Aisha Kali says, and do her medical, how long do you think it'll be to get our visa issued? I don't know, however long it takes them. We have a winner. I want to announce the winner of our lottery, of our free consultation lottery, Hussein Zungrana. You've been asking a lot of good questions. Please take a screenshot of wherever you're watching this so I can see your username and email it to me at info@jqqlaw.com. And we'll have a chat to see what's going on, 15 minutes video. What's going on with your case. Just send that over. And for those just tuning in, we give away free video consultations, 15 minutes. All you got to do is like and subscribe wherever you're watching this, write consultation in the comment section. And in about 10 minutes or so, we'll announce our last winner. And we'll just have a chat, see what's going on, and get to know you better. It's kind of fun stuff. If you're interested in a fiancé or marriage case, download the Ultimate Marriage Green Card Guide, the best guide out there at marriageimmigrationlaw.com. So Hussein, user 19, I'm sorry, says, do you have any suggestions for parents' cases I-130 that are pending for interview in Afghanistan? I mean, not really. I mean, you got to try to change the location of the embassy. So see where your parents are, send over to Pakistan or Kazakhstan or wherever they're going to be at, and try to have them go there for the interview. It's a mess, but the other embassies should be able to take it on. But everything is such an unreliable situation. It's unfortunate. Lemons Cure asks, I appreciate the answer. Don't mind taking them once, but I don't like endless friendship with needles. LOL, never liked them as a kid. Don't like adults. So yeah, you're talking about the vaccines. Yes, and this is kind of an important point. This question about the vaccines for immigration. If you have had previous vaccines and you have proof of it, you can bring that to your medical checkup with a doctor when you're applying for your green card. Potentially a doctor will accept them, and it'll cause you to avoid having to get some vaccines over again. Also, there is a requirement for the flu vaccine if it's winter, but if you take your medical, in summer, you don't need to do the flu vaccine. So that's something else. And these doctors have the authority to waive some of these if they think it's not appropriate and stuff like that. So that happens as well. And right now, there's a COVID-19 vaccine requirement as part of the immigration process, started since October 1st. So be prepared for that. But I hear you want to get profen with all these chemicals in your body if you don't have to. So it's definitely something you want to watch out for. Hussein asks, if you have an asylum pending in the United States and have kids who want to visit your home country, will that affect your father's pending asylum case? It won't necessarily affect the father's case, but the kids have to have a visa bill to come back in, which they probably won't have. So it gets complicated. I know you're a raffle winner. I don't handle asylum cases. It's been like 10 years since I've done an asylum case. So we'll talk about it briefly if you like in our free consultation. But it's just better that your kids stay here until everything is done. And not visit the home country is preferred. User 19 says, do you have any suggestions? We talked about that. 29 Super C, wow, is it because of COVID situation? Yes, I paid the fee already. So this is about if you get consular processing, your green card case is approved, you enter the United States, and it takes a while to get the green card. It's gotten worse because of COVID, but historically, it wasn't uncommon for clients to tell me months and months have gone by and they still haven't received the green card in the mail. This is pre-COVID. Now it's just gotten worse. So it's a really weird situation. It's really obnoxious. Marwan says, "Will do, not 5 stars, a constellation." Well, thank you. You threw me off there first. We said not 5 stars. Much appreciated. God bless you. It's always helpful to help the business out and do more stuff. And the more business we get, the more team members I have, so I can do more and more live stuff. We have a second show we started with my associate Anya Segeva, where we talk about, it's not a live show, it's recorded, but we talk about immigration news and a lot of information about processing different kind of cases. For example, in January, we were focused a lot about how to expedite your case. In February, we've been talking about H-1B visas. There's some backlog in the production of the videos. More will be coming out. They'll probably go into March. And then March, I haven't even made a decision on what we're going to talk about yet. But we're going to talk about, just pick one topic and look at it in different angles. So you have all this helpful, commentary on the internet to help you out with your cases, have better understanding what's going on. Salvatore asks, if my married son is already in the United States, he comes as a refugee, can I petition I-130 for him to get his green card? Because there's some mistake on his refugee application at the beginning. That gets into a messy situation. He needs to be in the United States, either admitted or paroled, and maintain status until the adjustment of status time comes up. it's a Salvatore. It's a super messy situation. I can't say for sure. There's a lot of things we'd have to review and see what's going on. 29 Super C follows up. Wow. Okay. Thanks, Terry Kostrali, for answering those questions. Would let you know when I get to the United States? Oh, you're not here yet? I thought you already came. Okay. Yeah, definitely let me know. Keep me posted on everything. 29 Super C. I want to see it toward the end. Just one note for those. I guess I'm not sure how many people have this situation, but once your green card is approved, the consular processing, you have to go online and pay for the immigrant visa fee. That's the immigrant visa fee. It's like USCIS immigrant fee or something like that. And they're going to ask you for your case number and for your alien number. Now, for the case number portion, it's the case number you've been using when you're dealing with the National Visa Center. But on your visa, it's listed, but they sometimes add a 01 to the end of it, so you don't have to include that when you're paying for the fee. And also, your alien number is sometimes 8 numbers. It's really an alien number is a total of 9 numbers, but sometimes they'll only write 8 numbers on your visa. If that's the case, you have to put a 0 before the first number. No one tells you that, and people get like really frustrated because it's not going in the system, it's not working, but you got to add that 0 to the beginning. Christiana says, the best live ever. Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you, Christiana. It's very kind of you. God bless you. Leave a 5-star review. Google JQK Law. Thank you. But going back to Monterey Fellows, I feel like USCIS switches all their filings from paper-based to electronic. I'll be a win-win for everyone. No sure why they still need paper. Why is this technology available? Just a thought. It's never going to be a win-win. If they go electronic, they'll have their own problems. I'm not really optimistic about that. For example, they've gone electronic with some cases, and there's such a mess that most attorneys will not use electronic systems yet, even though they're there for things like the change of status, I-539, the I-130 petition. It's just not something most immigration attorneys will do because there's a lot of glitches and problems and extra headaches with that. Paper is more flexible; you can write on it. So technology is good and all that kind of stuff, and potentially will make things faster. Probably will not though, because we're dealing with a politicized bureaucracy that has all sorts of internal issues that are just a mess. So in this case, going electronic is probably not getting much of a difference. So I like sticking with paper just from being a practitioner in this area. 29 is correct. It's USCIS website, pay for the green card. That's right. Salvatore says how much you charge for a consultation. It varies depending on the case, and if I'm consulting with me or my associate, so email the office and kind of break down what's going on in your case, and then we could take it from there. Parion Angel says, how long does it take to get a green card for a married green card holder? It's just that's not an easy question to answer, so we'll have to sit and talk about that. It takes like 5-10 minutes to answer that properly. But schedule consultation. Download the Ultimate Marriage Green Card Guide. I'll be some info there at marriageimmigrationlaw.com. Chapman asks, what's the most interview have you ever seen for one person in I-485 case? What's the most interview have you ever seen? I'm not sure what your question is. You mean longest interview or something like that? I'm not sure. But if it's the longest, we had one case. I never had long interviews when I do the cases myself because we just have all the information very clean and ready to go. But I rarely do this, but I had a case where someone just called me up, said, could you come to the interview with us? So we went, and we were there for hours and hours because they were not answering things properly. And so they separated them. So it took a long time. And that was a big mess. So the last question we'll take from Shugastic. My I-131 travel document hasn't gotten any updates since biometrics last May. Although USCIS site says wait time of 10 to 13 months, should I be concerned? Thank you for all the useful info you provide, by the way. You're welcome, Shugastic. No, you shouldn't be concerned. These things are taking a long time. I'm not surprised. Now, the I-131 says travel document. That could be a lot of different things. And so you have to be more specific as to what you're talking about. Like, are you talking about a reentry permit, a refugee travel document, advanced parole? But with things that are happening, the delays right now, waiting a year for an I-131 to get approved is not outside the ordinary. Chapdom has how many times? I'm not sure what you mean. How many times does that happen? For me, it's rare, but it happens in other cases. I guess I'm going to take 2 more questions. Karen, I have a 2-year green card since last year. Now I'm in big trouble with my wife. My wife cheated on me and gave birth to a child which is not mine. Yeah, you need to have a lawyer. It's local if you have to go to a future interview. S. Khan says, I cannot make a request to USCIS to move my spouse's I-130 case from California Service Center to Nebraska. No, you have no control over that. And Shuktas's reentry permit. Getting reentry permits right now is like taking forever. It's just going to be an endless process. I have ones that are pending a year and a half. It's like the people don't even need it anymore. So yeah, that delay is crazy. The last question is, Muhammad says, I came here on a visitor visa, then converted to F1 student visa, so I have an I-94 departure record period. Can I safely travel? No, you have to get a visa if you leave. So there's a lot going on there, Muhammad. I definitely need to schedule a private consultation. I'll just say, Shutas says, thank you, you're welcome. Mohammed, please email my office. You could be our winner of our free 15-minute video consultation. Take a screenshot of where you're watching this so I can see, it's you, and email it to me at info@jqklaw.com, and we'll chat real quick about what's going on there and how you did change the status and how that affects getting a visa and all that kind of stuff. With that, thank you everyone for joining. I appreciate it. Sorry if I couldn't get everyone in on the consultations, but come back next week. We'll set up all over again. As always, it is 6 p.m. Pacific time every Wednesday for the last 2.5 years probably. And ever since COVID started, we got into this, and it's been a fun ride. If you need to have a full consultation, email me at info@jqklaw.com and briefly describe the immigration issue that you have so you see what's going on in your case and if something we handle. For example, if you have a VAWA case, I don't do VAWA, so I wouldn't be a good resource. If you're going to file an asylum case, I don't do asylum, so I'm not a good resource for that. But other kind of cases that may be. So that's why I want you to briefly say what it is before we move things forward. God bless everybody. I wish you all the best and see you next week.